All right, y'all, welcome back to the fabulous garage again. We're here today with a goal in mind. Well, we have two, but number one is to swap out this driver's side axle. The reason for that is because before, when I was on coilovers, I was riding a bit low, axle was binding, boot ripped and everything. So I ended up getting a replacement. But the replacement I got was a used axle from LKQ online. I was just into the habit of it because of the Mazda and the issues that we used to have with non-OEM axles with that car. So I did get a used one from LKQ, and probably like a few days into driving, I noticed grease again, and I thought the boot ripped, but that wasn't the case. It seemed like the boot had just the smallest pinch hole in it. So I ended up putting Flex Seal around the boot, around this kind of the seal where that what do you call it? That metal band thing that holds the boot on, whatever. I put Flex Seal around all of it to hold it closed, and it did a beautiful job. I haven't seen any grease come out of there, but when it initially happened, I did lose a lot of grease, and I never repacked it or refilled it or anything. So I think at this point, the joint's just like dried out and given up. When I'm driving at certain speeds, I can hear it just like clicking. And I do hear a weird noise like as I'm leaving from a red light. So as I start my acceleration from a stop, I hear like a faint click, and it seems to be from the axle. So we're gonna go ahead and replace it with one that I got from AutoZone. I did go with AutoZone just because of the fact that they have that limited lifetime warranty thing. So if the boot rips again or I have another issue for any reason, I'll just take it to AutoZone and get another one instead of fighting with it. The second thing we're gonna do today is on the front end of the car, adjust the air struts. Now, I don't know how this happened because I didn't change any of the settings from when I took the bags off the car. I pretty much took them off, put them away, then unpacked them and put them on. I don't recall making any kind of adjustments, but to get to like a decent ride height on the front, where I feel comfortable at least, so I'm not binding the axle or anything, I have to put a lot of pressure in the bag. That added pressure is making like a really stiff ride on the front end of the car. So I want to raise the strut so that I can ride at a lower PSI on the front end of the car. The rear is fine. I'm really not sure why it is that the front suddenly needs 80 PSI to be at a decent height. Unless I was really riding the car much lower than I am now and I just not realizing it. But yeah, I don't think that's the case. So I want to raise the air struts probably about 1/2 inch on both sides. That should get me down at least 10 to 15 PSI, I'm hoping. But I'll test that theory before I tighten everything up. For now, I'm gonna go ahead, jack the car up, get this wheel off, start working on getting the old axle out so I can get that one in. Fingers crossed that everything stays intact when I pull the axle from the trans, and I don't have to worry about pulling out the slide hammer to like pull the cup, because the cup typically, my neighbors are so loud. The cup typically separates from the boot on the trans side, so I'm hoping I don't have any issues with that. But either way, let's get started and let's start doing things. You know what I mean? So exactly what I didn't want to happen happened. And of course I forgot to, record important parts. So if you're coming in here, you're trying to get this this axle out, you do have to separate the knuckle from the strut, take the end link off. There's no need to take off everything else. There is enough room to flex the knuckle and ball joint forward, so you have space to pull at the axle. But what tends to happen pretty often is that the axle will separate. So you can see, let me see if I can get you guys closer. So you can see that The cup is left in the transmission. I don't know why the grease looks all milky. That's an odd one to me. That's different. But what I'm gonna do is grab my slide hammer. It has an attachment to connect to my vice grips. So I'm gonna clamp the vice grip to that and use the slide hammer to pop the cup out of the transmission. Once that's out, it's as simple as taking the new one and popping that back in place and then just kind of bolting everything back up. But let me clean up some of this mess, grab my slide hammer and vice grip, and I'll come back when I'm doing that. All right, so this is, I gotta turn the fan off because it's blowing right at us. All right, so this is my slide hammer setup. This slide hammer I got from Harbor Freight a couple years back. It was actually the first time I was changing the axles on the Mazda, and the same thing happened. I spent like a good 3 hours trying to figure out different ways to get that cup out, and I couldn't get anything to like grip it and put enough force to like bring it out. So I ended up grabbing this after I think I saw it on like YouTube or something, and this is what ended up working for me. So it does come with this attachment that fits into a standard vice grip. So we go ahead and we get that fitted in there. And then we don't need these right now, so let's move that out the way. I'm gonna grab the slide hammer itself, and that will attach on this end. And usually if it's behaving well, one pull will actually get it out, but let's see how this goes. Try to give you guys some angle here. Probably need to tighten up just a little bit more. Let's see. Nope. Tighten up some more. All right. So I did have to lower the control arm a little bit more off of the jack just to give myself some more room to move, because I didn't have enough room to actually leverage the slide. So, but we got the cup out, and that is what the other end looks like. So I'm gonna try to clean up a little bit more of that mess, and then we'll go ahead and get the new axle out of the box and get that fitted in. All right, y'all, so went ahead and got the new axle out, and first thing I needed to do was actually shave down the threads where the axle nut connects. Now the reason that I do that is because the threads stick out so far that like it goes past the actual hub, and it doesn't allow me to put my center cap on. It just penetrates, pause, a little too far out. So this is how I had the last one. It should be good enough to clear. I didn't shave it down as low as I did with the other one, but we should be good. So what I'm gonna do now is go ahead and get the transmission side in. What we're looking for is just to be able to get the splines themselves lined up in the transmission and just giving it a good pop in. You'll kind of feel it when it locks in. This little clip on the end here is what holds it in the transmission, and this is what I'm fighting when I use a slide hammer to pop it out. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this side in, and then we'll get the other end in through the hub. So let me do that now. All right, so transmission side is in. I'm gonna go ahead and jack up the spindle and hub so that I can get this side in. And that's that. I should probably call this out in the beginning, but if you decide to go this route for changing your axle out, Definitely keep an eye on your ABS line and your brake line. You don't want to break either one of these while you're doing this. So what I'm going to do now is just pop this into the strut so I can put a bolt through it to hold it in place. All right. Should probably just get the bottom one in there one time too. There goes my light. Then we want to get our end link in. This is going to be a little bit tight because the airline is sitting right behind it. Let's see if I could snug it in there. There we go. That's gonna go there. That's there like so. And that's going up there. And we can just get our nuts and start putting them where they belong. And then we got 2 screws for the brake line and the ABS. Now, obviously, this might not be the by the book way to do it. I've seen some people take apart like pretty much the entire front end, like taking the spindles off, taking like all of this off, brakes and everything, just to be able to get the axle out. And I think that's a lot of work for something that you don't need as much room as it might seem in order to get it done. So if I'm doing something wrong, feel free to correct me. I'm open to feedback. But yeah. Now this first go is going to be a little weird because I might not have gotten the threads cut perfectly straight. Everything's back together now. I did have a little bit of a fight with the with threading on the axle nut. I think when I cut, I may not have been perfectly straight, so as I was trying to get the nut on there, it was kind of cross threading. So I did take the angle grinder and kind of just clean up the edges again. Excuse me. And that, kind of resolved it, and we got the nut on there. It's torqued down. We went ahead and tightened everything else back up here with the brake line, the ABS line, and the end link, which is oozing grease. But that is about it. I know initially I said I was going to raise the front end of the car, of the strut, but before I put the car on jacks, I actually aired the car down around to the area where I recall running the pressures to, and it still sits pretty good, so I'm gonna leave it as is for now. I'm gonna try it out at like 65 PSI more or less and kind of see how the car rides like that. But otherwise, we're gonna wrap it up here. I'm gonna go ahead and get this wheel back on, torque the lug nuts down, and that's it. Hey guys, so it's been a couple days since where I left off at, and I did do what I said I was gonna do, and I've pretty much left the car's ride height at like 65-ish. So I was able to come down about 20 psi from where I was. Actually, it was closer to 15 psi from where I was. And the car drives fine. I'm not feeling any binding, any vibration, anything weird. So I think we're gonna leave the front ride height just about there. And the rear has been fine. The rear I don't have any issues with. What I do need to adjust in the rear though, and I'll do this off camera later, is adjust my camber. So at ride height, the rear looks like it has positive camber. So I'll probably tone that back maybe 2 or 3 degrees. The driver's side's not as bad, but the passenger side definitely has like a decent amount of poke. So I'm gonna add maybe 1 or 2 degrees, tilt it in just a little bit. But again, I'll do that later. What I'm working on right now is getting these spark plugs changed out. We did do that oil change just the other day. I do need to replace the air filter. I think it's been a while since I changed it. So I'll probably order that. But I'm just pretty much wrapping up on maintenance, and I'm probably gonna just end the episode there. Spark plugs are spark plugs. There's nothing special to it. I already loosened this one, but you're gonna undo the screw, unplug the coil pack, pull it out, undo the spark plug with the actual spark plug tool, which I have over there. Replace and repeat 3 more times. The only thing I am gonna do that I wasn't sure I was gonna do initially, I am gonna disconnect the battery. I don't know if that's gonna help reset anything in the ECU or PCM, whatever, to help it identify fresh spark plugs. Maybe it'll change the driving of the car, I don't know. But I'm gonna disconnect the battery while I do this, get that wrapped up, and then go ahead and just play around with the camber in the rear. I do need to get an alignment, so I just wanna get everything kind of buttoned up before I do that, because I don't wanna get an alignment, change geometry, and mess up my alignment after the fact. So I'm gonna wrap up on this. I'm gonna let you guys go from here. Like always, I appreciate you guys coming through, watching the video. Give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, sub. If you got any comments, questions, concerns, feedback, whatever, drop it down below. But till next time, guys, peace out, God bless, and stay safe.